Hi guys, so today I want to talk about a verb that hasn't been covered much on YouTube, or like there are videos about this verb, but the explanations are not very precise or not very they are simplified. So I decided to make a video about these verbs, and I hope they can help Italian learners understand better how this verb works. The verb I'm talking about is the verb piacere. The verb piacere, in most dictionaries, is translated with the expression the verb to like. Okay, but actually, there might be other translations of this verb that maybe can help understand how this verb works. These translations are to please, to appeal, or to be liked. This one is a passive form, so it's not that precise, but this one also can help. Thinking about the verb piacere as to be liked can help understand how this verb functions. Okay, so well, first of all, let's see the difference between English and Italian, because in the English verb to like, the subject is the person who likes. Okay, so the person who likes is the subject in English, but in Italian it's not like that, because the subject of the verb piacere is the thing that is liked. Okay, that's why I said that this verb can help understanding. So let's start from the conjugation of this verb. The present tense, as we can see, the verb piacere is irregular, and it goes like io piaccio, tu piaci, lui lei piace, noi piacciamo, voi piacete, loro piacciono. And I would translate this conjugation like this, using the verb to please. I please, you please, he, she pleases, we please, you please, and they please. But before that, before seeing this verb, how it works, we need to introduce this sort of particles, okay, which in Italian are called pronomi indiretti, so indirect pronouns. These are mi, ti, li, le, ci, vi, and loro. And we need to understand also that these particles, these pronouns, indirect pronouns, respectively, they mean a me, a te, a lui, a lei, a noi, a voi, and a loro. These pronouns are used in combinations with the verb piacere. So most of you probably already know that, for example, to say I like, we say mi piace, and to say you like, we say ti piace. But as we can see from the conjugation, okay, that is not the conjugation of the verb. So let's see some examples to understand, okay? The first example is io piaccio alle donne, okay? So this means women like me. Let's analyze the sentence. In the sentence io piaccio alle donne, the subject of the verb piacere, which here is in the form piaccio, is io. Remember that the verb always shows the subject. So, according to how the verb is conjugated and in what form it presents itself, we immediately can see the subject. So, this io is not necessary actually. We can even say piaccio alle donne. The subject here is io, but in the English sentence, the subject is women. So they kinda switch, okay, in the translation. So in Italian, donne is not the subject, but in English, yes. And in Italian, io is the subject, but in English, it's the object. Okay, so let's see other examples. Marco likes the pizza. La pizza piace a Marco. Or a Marco, so we can put this at the beginning of the sentence, a Marco piace la pizza. Or this one, I like the cat, il gatto piace a me, or mi piace il gatto. Okay, so we can actually use these particles, mi, ti, li, le, instead of a me, a te, and so on. They are both correct, but I would say that the particles are more frequently used. Okay, so mi piace is translated also as it pleases me. Okay, so this translation actually is useful to understand the functioning of this verb. Okay, so it pleases me, it's here in English it's the object, okay, and it is the subject, just like in Italian. Okay, so that's why this helps. Let's see other examples. A Marco piace Laura, which means Laura pleases Marco. Okay, or more commonly in English, Marco likes Laura. But let's see this example here. A Marco piacciono gli animali. Okay, so here we don't have piace, we have piacciono. And why is that? Because gli animali is the grammatical subject of the sentence, and this is shown by the verb. Okay, remember that the verb, I say it again, the verb always shows the subject. Okay, you can clearly see here the loro ending. Okay, which means gli animali piacciono a Marco. Okay, Marco likes animals. Okay, so again, looking at this conjugation, you can see that actually if I say io piaccio, okay, which means I am liked or I please someone else, okay, the subject is inverted, okay, between English and Italian. So this might sound counterintuitive, and I completely understand that, because in English it works in a different way. This is more complicated for English native speakers, and it's also confusing. Okay, but I'm going to tell you this if this helps. So especially if you are beginning, if you are to study Italian, if you are a beginner, and this verb just it's hard to understand at the moment, and it's completely normal. Think about the fact that the verb piacere will come in the form of piace or piacciono most of the times. Okay, piacciono only when the liked thing is plural. So let's see these examples. Amir likes languages. We translate this as ad Amir piacciono le lingue. We are using piacciono because le lingue is plural. And remember that the English subject, so Amir, in Italian is always preceded by the preposition a. Here we are placing a d for the sake of pronunciation, because we don't want two vowels to follow each other. Okay, so ad Amir. Here we have Marco likes dogs. A Marco, which is the English subject, preceded by a in Italian. That's extremely important. Piacciono I cani. Piacciono because cani is plural. Okay, and again, in this sentence, in this Italian sentence, cani is the grammatical subject. Okay, that's why the verb follows, like, is conjugated accordingly. Okay, because the subject is I cani, which is loro. Okay, Marco likes history. A Marco piace la storia. Now the subject is singular, and so we use piace. Piace lui, lei, la storia. A loro piace il gatto. They like the cat. Okay, and so on. Now, piacere, unfortunately, it's not the only verb that works in this way. We have other verbs like interessare, servire, mancare, e bastare. These verbs are pretty common to use and are used in the same way. So we will say mi piace, mi interessa, mi serve, mi manca, and mi basta. Okay, so this means is interesting. This means is necessary. This means like I miss. Okay, mi manca means I miss something. E bastare means to be sufficient. Okay, but they work in the same way, just like piacere. Okay, I know it's confusing, but if you are an analytical person like me, actually, if things don't make sense and you don't know the reason why something is as it is, it's even harder to understand. Okay, so I hope this video can help someone who's struggling to understand this verb, because it just doesn't make sense. Okay, so thank you for watching, and see you next time.